Good evening, everyone. I apologize for missing out on yesterday's stream, which kind of got pushed back to today. I had some personal issues that came up that unfortunately made streaming pretty much like impossible. So I kind of had to just cancel that. And like the last few days have been kind of hectic and a bit stressful, but thankfully I'm in a much better place right now. So I feel like I'm much better able to actually like provide the kind of content that you guys are expecting from me. But with that being said, we are going to be starting up a new journey today. This is actually one of my favorite games of all time and is pretty much a staple of my childhood. Like, this game is like one of the first PS1 games that I ever got a chance to play. Like, it was probably, I think, one of the first three PS1 games I ever got. So this one is kind of up there in terms of like how fresh it is in my memory and such. So I'm looking forward to this because I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. And I am definitely looking forward to sharing it with the rest of you. It is going to be a bit of a grinder, admittedly. Like, we've been discussing this game for quite some time now. So, as you know, we will be starting Legend of Legaia, which is a PlayStation 1 game. It's a traditional JRPG with a few different elements to it compared to other genre specific games. It was considered like one of the better RPGs on the PS1 and is pretty much like considered a cult classic among fans of the old console. It was originally released in 1998 in Japan and didn't come to American shores until a few months later in early 1999. It's one of the rare games that was produced by, I want to say, Contrail is one of the developers of this game. It was published by Sony Computer Entertainment, of which Contrail and Procyon were two production and development companies that worked together on this particular title. It's not an easy game, to say the least. It is a lot of fun. It's not something for the faint of heart, really, because like I said, it can be a bit of a grinder. This one usually takes about anywhere from 37 to 45 hours to complete all of the main storyline. And that is going to be something that we kind of have to just deal with. I will try to do some off-stream grinding. That way you guys don't have to just sit there and watch me battle enemy after enemy trying to get my party to a level that is adequate enough to deal with some of the more ridiculously annoying bosses that can actually be found in this game. Because this is a game where if you do not have your party at a sufficient level, there is a good chance that you will get completely rolled over and just destroyed. And this can be seen like even early on in one of the, actually I want to say even like the first true like major boss of the game, which surprisingly won't be encountered until quite a bit of ways into the game. We might not even be able to reach it today. Like, that's how deep into the game it is. There's a bit of, well, gap between each of the major bosses in this game for the most part. It gets better as time goes on, but at that point, that's where the grinding really comes into play, and you have to make sure that your characters are sufficiently buffed enough to deal with the onslaught of bosses that are going to come rolling at you one after the other. Excuse me. That being said, there are tips and tricks to dealing with these bosses, and I do remember quite a few of these little tricks. So, with any luck, we shouldn't have too much of a horrible problem with actually, like, dealing with this. Let me see. Whoops. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to make sure that everything is set up on this end. Because right now it looks like one of my button controls is not cooperating. Let's see. Okay, so this is probably what I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. You guys probably hear the music. Give me 1 second to get it on the screen here real quick. There we go. This game, I'm going to tell you right now, this game has one of the best soundtracks of any RPG that I have ever come across. In fact, the game was... Oh, hold on 1 second, I got an important phone call. Give me 1 second, I will be right back. Okay, that's taken care of. Whew, I apologize for that. I had to let them know that I was gonna call them back after I wasn't quite so busy. Yeah, as you can see, the graphics for this little intro are pretty well done for a 1999 game. So like you get to see like all the main characters plus one of the major antagonists. So you get a party of 3 characters, and that's really all you need for this one. This game does have a sequel where you get more party members, and we will do that one eventually, but right now we're going to focus on the big one. There we go. Okay. We'll do new game. Make sure. Oh. Thank you for the hydrate, Stacy. Good to have you here. God created the heavens, the earth, and the seas. After creating all things in the universe, God created humans to rule over this world. Yet while possessing the wisdom of God, humans were physically weaker than the wild beasts, and impulsive in spirit. Many times did the humans come close to dying out forever. Concerned about the humans' future, God gave them a mighty force with which to aid them. It was the Seru. the Seiru are basically like one of the major building blocks of this world, and you'll find out just how they interact with this little intro. Since the dawn of human memory, known as history, humans lived together with creatures known as Seiru. The Seiru live together with humans, always obeying them, and making the humans many times stronger than before. So in a sense, the Seiru were kind of like a organic suit of armor that humans could wear. When not worn by a human, a Seiru looks much like a stone figure. However, upon touching a human, a Seiru changes form and gives that human secret abilities. With a Seiru, a human can lift objects heavier than itself and even fly in the air at will. We actually won't be dealing with those particular Seiru until much later in the game, but we do come across them. However, that era came to an end. Appearing from out of nowhere, the mist covered the land, bringing to an end prosperous symbiosis between humans and Seiru. After the thick mist came, the Seiru, who once obeyed humans, rebelled against them. The Seiru began attacking humans at will. Seiru that attached themselves so that humans controlled their minds and turned them into evil beasts. As if forsaken by God, human civilization collapsed. It was the twilight of humanity. Those who escaped the mist inhabited the desolate areas and protected each other. Now their faint hope is their only source of inspiration. And here we have our starter town, Rim Elm. As you can see, these thick walls are built to keep the mist out, along with these windmills. Oh, the music's kind of loud? Oh, thank you for letting me know. I was trying to adjust it so it wasn't quite so loud, but I must not have turned it down enough. Oh my god, we have a pirate raid. Thank you, Captain Tempest, for the raid. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second, I'll give you a quick shout out. Okay. I hope all of you enjoy this. This is a bit of a new project for us that we're going through, and as you can see, we're introduced to our main character, Vaughn. You can change the name of the characters as needed. Oh, thank you for the follow, Cosita. Thank you very much. Yeah, as you can tell by the graphics, fellow raiders, this is a bit of an old game. As I mentioned, this is from 1999. Captain, this is a game with a pillar of my childhood. Thank you for the follow, Ren Yamanko. And here we have Vaughn talking to the village elder. The mysterious Genesis tree. You will run into multiple of these trees. And when you come across them, they pretty much all look like this. Decrepit and with no leaves to speak of. Oh, Libus Foley, thank you for the follow. Oh, you still think the music's too loud? That's odd. Let me... Okay, that's... Okay. Hopefully that's better. Yes, as you can see, oh, you've never played this before fully. Oh yeah, I remember the old school PlayStation demo disc. That's actually how I was introduced to this game, and I ended up getting it. The volume stays the same? That's odd. Maybe see if your phone volume may be a little bit off, because right now, like, it's... Let's see. Maybe see if that'll work. Okay. Let's see. Let's pull up our menu real quick. I tried to turn the desktop audio down a little bit. So, let's see if that works. So, battle camera, close. Field move, I want it on run. Okay, so yeah, it was the desktop audio setting that was keeping it loud. Yeah. I went into the options because I wanted the field move on run. You do not want to be walking everywhere when you're in the towns. You want to run. A giant green tree. Well, there's your tree, but it's not giant yet. Hey, Bacon. Good to have you here. I just now noticed you. I know you've been wanting this one for a while. And like everyone already knows that Vaughn was praying to the Genesis tree. And May here is Vaughn's childhood friend who has taken the opportunity to create Vaughn's hunting outfit for him for his first hunt. So it's basically like a rite of passage here in Rimhelm. I'm gonna see how many of these secrets I remember, because it has been years since I touched this game, and I cannot go in there yet. Let's see. Yeah, my analog stick doesn't work, so it's gonna be the D-pad for the most part. Actually, I'll go ahead and use this time to introduce you to the save statue. This is where you save the game. Pretty much all the old RPGs had one of these, and some of them still do. So you want to save often, especially in this game, because admittedly, like, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, this game can sometimes be a bit of a pain with some of the bosses. I know you said you didn't get a chance to finish it fully. Okay, so that's locked. Okay, so I won't be able to access most of this until later. But I do know that there's like a few things that I can actually find. I just gotta get a hold of them. Like here's the village elder's house, and aha! A magic leaf. Some of the houses actually do have these little drawers that you can open up and get secret items. Alright, so I think that's pretty much all we can do for now, so we'll go into Vaughn's house and get these measurements done for the hunting clothes. I find it hilarious that you can clearly see Vaughn's father on the right over here, Val, and his little sister is up top, Nene. The funny thing that I always wondered, like even as a kid, was why do they all have different hair colors? And Nene has a question for May. Uh-oh. And she has gone tomato. I knew it. And she can't even face him now. In the measurements, they're like, oh, that's right, I do need to do this. You've gotten bigger. Context. Like, my question is, though, like, how long ago did she take the measurements for these hunting clothes that, like, he's already, like, grown noticeably bigger? And you hear the name Juno. That is May's father, who is one of the hunters. Val was also a hunter, but as you can see, he does have a cane in his right hand. So he is actually a retired hunter due to an injury. And a healing leaf. You will want a lot of these. Let's see. Alright, so... Sea carries a fresh wind from dawn till dusk. The wind pushes back the mist. The wind behaves strangely. I hope this is not a bad sign. Well, now you've done gone and jinxed it, probably. Okay, so here's another major character that's in Rim Elm. Tetsu. He is a monk that taught Vaughn how to fight in the first place. So this will give me a chance to actually do a practice run and show you the actual combat style of this game. So Tetsu gives a healing leaf because he's going to teach us how to use items as well as how to fight. And again, for a 1999 game, the graphics here are pretty impressive, all things considered. So we'll look at basic attacks, select begin. There are two attack modes, auto and command. Auto is pretty self-explanatory. Command is basically your manual input mode. You can freely combine commands right, left, high, and low. Your right and left will change depending on what you have equipped to your arms. But the direction is basically the same, it's just that for certain characters, they may be swapped because of their handedness. Because one of the characters in the party is actually left-handed. But we'll get into that more later. So you can select any combination of commands that will fill up the spirit bar, which is in the lower left. So you use the directional buttons to input your attacks. So as you can see, this is where I mentioned that the game has some fighting elements to it. Now how to use items. And then items, pretty self-explanatory. I've noticed that if you hit the cross button right before an enemy attack and time it just right, you can actually have a better chance of blocking that attack. Sometimes with some of the enemies though, this can actually be very tricky to pull off. And Spirit allows you to generate AP, which is what you need for arts. Spirit also increases your block ability. And now to learn about hyper arts. This is where the fighting elements come in. You know how in most fighting games you have like special techniques that your fighter can use based on directional inputs. Same concept applies here. So you enter commands of high, low, high. So once you do that, you hit begin and that is the move we're going to be learning. And you learn new art, somersault. So that's pretty much how the combat works in this game. It's simple enough, but you do kind of have to like fiddle around with it to figure out what all of your arts are. And thank you for the hydrate, Bacon. And now the hunters have returned. Oh man, it's good to see so many people that actually like remember this game and are getting like a nostalgia hit from it. Like, this was one of my favorites. Like, it still is, like, in my top 10 of all time. So, I'm, like, super excited to play this for all of you. Uh-oh. And this is Juno. May's father apparently met with an unfortunate accident. Oh dear. Before we knew it, the mist came earlier than usual. Juno was attacked by the Seru. And this is the unfortunate reality that many people in Legaia have to deal with. Because of the mist turning all of the Seru into mindless monsters, unfortunately they now attack humans on sight, and if they can get a hold of them, they turn them into mindless zombies, essentially. It is a very unfortunate existence, and that's why these people live in fear every day. I hate the mist. Will we always have to live in fear of the mist? And there you have the ultimate goal of our quest, even though we don't know it yet officially. We'll go ahead and let the ladies look after May, but I do believe there is something in here we can grab. No, there is not. Alright, so with that being said, I think we've found pretty much everything. There is some stuff in here that we can get, however, I cannot get to it yet. We do need to go a little bit further into the game. But just to kind of give you an idea of what the menu looks like, we have traditional items. You have your magic, which we don't have access to quite at this time. This is your equipment, pretty standard stuff for RPGs. Your status, that shows all your different stats. You have hit points, magic points, that's all pretty standard. One of the unique things about Legend of Legaia is you actually have two different defense stats. You have upper defense and lower defense, because your attacks actually do hit for high and low. Upper defense measures how you defend against attacks that hit up into the middle. Lower defense affects your defense against attacks that hit the low end of the spectrum. Intelligence is kind of like your magic defense, essentially. And agility not only determines your speed, but also your AP accrual and your spirit gauge. So soon the mist will come. The mist likes to come out at night, like most boogeymen, unfortunately. What the heck was that? Well, that doesn't sound very promising. Wake up, you lazy sack of bones! I love how he just, like, jumped out of that thing like a pole vaulter. Hurry back at the first sign of danger. You can already tell that's not gonna happen. Actually, let me see my options real quick. Battle command. Okay, so there isn't really a way to actually switch it so that my analog allows me to move the character, so it is going to be just strictly directional pad. And it does sound like something is smashing on the wall. Quite impressive. Look how many puny humans survive. Well, that was typically villainous. What the? Who's this weirdo and where'd he come from? Pitiful creatures, you humans. You scream at the sight of a Seru's shadow. Well, they are pretty nasty. Also, you seem to be human as well, though that is a very creepy mask that you have on. The time has come to abandon your foolish resistance. I am Zeto. I have come to bring the salvation of the mist to you miserable creatures. Well, that clearly didn't work. Accept the mist. What if we don't wanna? Ugh. You are one ugly son of a gun. So at least we know what's been hitting the wall. Oh my god, it went Kamehameha. I don't know what that thing is. Well, actually I do, but that thing is nasty. And unfortunately, it has now allowed the mist to come barreling into Rim Elm. My question is, how is this guy not affected? Destroy that old eyesore of a tree. So clearly the tree is actually some importance, otherwise he wouldn't command them to actually attack it. The serenity of the mist. What about this is serene? So now we have our first, like, major enemy. You'll notice the little fire symbol that was next to its name. That is because that Gimard, as it's called, is actually a magic, like a magic ability. Alright, so if I remember correctly, that should be an art. Yes, it was. I did remember that. Whoop. Okay. I apologize for that. My capture card is getting a little finicky on me. So I believe that is another one. Dang it. I tried to block. Yes. Power punch. Alright, so you also gain AP from being attacked, so that is another way of actually gaining, like, AP. Spirit not only increases your spirit gauge, but it also manages to increase your defensive capabilities. So, like, if a boss is about to do a massive attack, you can use spirit to basically lower the... Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a healing leaf because I do not trust that thing. Let's see. Let's go ahead and quit that, you annoying little booger. Got it. Oh, and we got a healing leaf to replace the one that we lost. Okay, so... yeah, as you can see, like... everyone is being attacked by the Saru monsters. So unfortunately, we kind of need to make that stop. Okay, so yeah. Now I remember I can't get to what's in that little drawer until later. Because there is stuff in there that I can get. But I have to get rid of the mist first. I'm going to try to level up at least once, though, before I go down to the tree. And now we have a slime. I believe this is another art. Yes! I do remember some of this. Most of your arts are actually like recorded in your art listing once you like like unlock them. There we go. Got it. Okay, the slimes you actually want to get rid of as soon as possible because they will actually like divide like cells and basically like create new enemies for you to fight. And it can get rather annoying, especially if you have to fight multiple of them. So let's run around a bit and see if we can't find some other monsters to deal with. Because if possible, I want to get to level 2, maybe even 3. And you actually do have some, like, 4 command arts that you can do. I do believe this is one of them. Like, it's been a few years since I played this game, but I do kind of remember a lot of the arts. Because I played this game, like, so much when I was younger. Yeah, and as you can see, like, when I spirit, even if I don't spirit before the monster, like, I still get the defense buff. So, let's see. That should... I forgot about that. Most of these Saru monsters actually have a special ability that is really annoying to deal with. So I'm going to want to heal now, because that kind of hurt. Quit smacking me with your tail. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just punch him right in the face. That's the annoying thing is, like, starting out, like, it is so hard to deal with these things. And you'll notice that the camera angle changes once they've been defeated. So that's how you really know, like, when you've defeated an enemy permanently, is when the camera angle changes to go behind them. If it remains in place, then you still got a bit of a ways to go. So let's see. I've got 121 experience points until I reach level 2. So let's fight a few more monsters. It's probably another 3 or 4 battles until we can reach the next level, and then I gobu gobu. So, like, these guys are another, like, typical, like, goober that we have to fight. They have, like, their multiple, like, iterations as you go throughout the game. And you just have to, like, deal with them as they come. There we go. Got him. Another one of those, and I should be able to... Oh, I forgot. These guys steal like little thieves. Unfortunately, you know what that means, right? Gobu Gobu? Means, you gotta die. Unfortunately, these guys also have a tendency to run away once you actually, like... Once they steal something. So you gotta kill them before they run. And then you can recover the stolen healing leaf. There we go. Oh, that's right. I thought that 132 was like the number, or 121 was the number of experience points that I needed. No, that's the... Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I have 152 experience points. I needed 121 to reach level 2. So now I need 365 to reach level 3. So once the experience bar reaches 365, I will level up again. That's how the level up system works in this game. I completely forgot about that. So let's go ahead and use a healing leaf real quick, and we will go down to the Genesis tree, which appears to be glowing for some reason. However, if you'll notice, the mist doesn't come in here where the tree is. And the tree appears to be warm. Please tell me the tree is not about to catch fire. Something is speaking softly to Vaughn's mind. And here we are introduced to one of the other major characters and mechanics of this game, the Raw Seru. Meta. The Raw Seru are pretty much like Holy Seru that are immune to the effects of the mist. You'll find out why later in the game, but even though the Raw Seru are like typical Seru, they are basically an evolved form of them that are much more powerful than your typical Seru. And the mist is poisoning the Genesis tree. So Meta needs this tree to not die in order to be strong. To revive it, they need the power of the human spirit. So in other words, we gotta convince everyone to run down here. But first, let's get May, because she's still in here by herself. Brilliant deduction, May. So we're gonna take May to our house. That way she's not alone with a dead body. Because right now it's just her and her unfortunately late father. So now Vaughn's gonna take May all the way to his house. There's actually a reason that I did this. We will find out in a little bit. If only there were someplace safe for us. I sense something gentle about this Seru. So now we get all of the people in the town to gather at the Genesis tree. Now you'll find out that this is the only time in the game really that you see a Genesis tree like revived in this manner with a bunch of people surrounding it. So this is a bit of a unique tree in the game's lore. And as you can see, the people are praying and their spiritual force is gathering to give power to the Genesis tree. Meta is going to concentrate that power and use it to basically provide the equivalent of miracle grow to this tree. I don't know what he gave this tree, but I really need it for a vegetable garden. Like, it went from an old decrepit tree into this. And now it's giving off a power that is able to drive the mist away. And that will be how we get rid of the mist for most of the game. So now much of the area surrounding Rim Elm is now mist-free. Completely. The Genesis tree has the power to drive away the mist and to make a Rosaru stronger. It is gone from Rim Elm but still covers the rest of the earth. Many Genesis trees wait to be revived. So now we have received our marching orders for our quest. And we passed out. Like he was just standing there perfectly fine and then all of a sudden, boop. Like 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, floor. And unfortunately, we now have to deal with the funeral of Juno and the others that were killed in the attack. The Valley of Nawaru. You don't hear too much about the gods of this world, but I believe this is honestly the only time that we hear the name of the god Ferti, the god of the sea. And Rim is mentioned quite a few times and is basically considered like the chief god. So Rim would be this world's equivalent to like Zeus or Odin. Would probably be the best analogy that I could give. So basically these folks are being given a burial at sea, which is the typical custom in Rim Elm. Makes a bit of sense when you consider that they're right there on the coast. The people who did the music for this game did an amazing job with it. Like, that is probably the best part about this game. Like, beyond this, the story and the way that the combat, like, influences the story itself. But just the music is very... What's the word I'm looking for? It's very, I guess, appropriate for each scene. So, like, here it's a very soothing yet melancholy kind of tone, which makes sense considering you're watching a funeral. You hear this track several times throughout the game, usually in situations like this, where there's something like very like sad or melancholy going on. It can also be used in peaceful scenes. Her mother may still be alive in the mist. Oh, so May's mother may still be alive. No, Captain. The game does not end here. I mentioned this at the very start of the stream before you guys raided, but this game takes about 37 to 45 hours to complete the general storyline. It's a bit of a grinder, and we've only just touched the tip of everything. Now, granted, I could have fought some more Gimards to try and get that as a spell, but honestly, I'm going to try to get it at the next major dungeon. Well, you have to remember, this is a 1999 RPG. This isn't at the level of, like, the Dragon Quest games. And that's just for, like, doing the, like, just blitzing through the story and trying to get everything bare bones. If you want to, like, find everything, then chances are you're gonna be at this for a good 50, if not more, hours. Okay, there has to be a key for this. Because I know there's something in there that I want. Okay. I'm trying to figure out why it's not opening. Because I know that there's an important item in there. Okay, so we could actually get a hold of some stuff. I think for now I'm going to want to get the warrior boots. And you can actually automatically equip your stuff from the menu when you buy an item, which makes equipping stuff a bit easy for the most part. So we're gonna head to the exit to try to leave. Actually, before I do that, I want to save. Come on. That's the annoying thing about having to do things with the directional pad. Is that the movement seems a bit choppy. And she brought the hunting clothes. That's why I bought the boots instead. And she brings us a gift for checking up on her and bringing her to our house during the night. May's pendant. Like, with some of the, like, dialogue options, you can choose to be like a complete jackass, but I prefer to just, like, be the typical hero. Don't forget to wear the hunting outfit. You'd better come back. I'll be waiting. Alright, so that being said, we now have new equipment that we can actually put. So best equipment will automatically attach anything that you have that is better than what you're currently wearing. It will not, however, attach accessories. So let's see. Thank you for the tutorial, Safety. And so yes, you can have up to 3 accessories and each one has their own unique effects. May's pendant will increase your hit points by 10%, which for this current stage in the game is very useful. Actually, I might have to leave the town and go back in before I can access that annoying locked chest. If not, I might have to look up like how to do it, because I know that there's something in there that I want. Unfortunately, grinding is necessary not only to, like, aha, point card, that's what we needed. This is one of the most important items in the game. It can make your life so much easier. Earn points worth 5% of the price when you shop. So basically, when you buy stuff, you get 5% of the money you spend as points on this card. You might think that it's like a typical rewards card. You spend the points to basically get discounts on items and stuff. That is not the case, actually. Instead, what the point card does is it takes those points that you earn from shopping and converts it into raw damage. So you can save up these points for a majority of the game, and then at the right time, spam it and hit the enemy with basically a large scale attack that does the cap damage of 9,999 damage. in one shot. And there's the first of the annoying status effects that you will run into in this game, and why I hate these flies. Venom, or as most people know it, poison. As you'll probably guess, this is a flying enemy. Low attacks do not touch it. However, if you use an art move that ends in down, that down it doesn't actually like register in the flying enemy is hit with the full force of the art move. Unless, of course, the art move actually involves something that involves a hit that aims for the low part of the enemy, at which point it's going to clearly miss. Okay, so we actually do get rid of the status elements. It appears whenever we end a fight. Well, most status elements anyway. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to rest with Nene. She's basically like a free heal, so I don't have to waste my healing leaves. And I will get access to another insta-heal in a short while. So we're kind of going to try to make our way towards that at the moment. Actually, I might stick around here for a bit and try to... Actually, you know what? No. I was going to save up for the hunt for the survival knife, but I actually remembered I can find one in the dungeon. So I might just save that for now. Let's see. Actually, I want to spear it real quick. But, see there? Divide. So now there's two of these little boogers that I have to deal with. The only good thing to come out of this, though, is the fact that I can actually, well, get more experience from it. There we go. And we got it knocked out in one go. Yeah, see, I'm trying to time it to where I can actually block that hit. I'm going to be getting a heck of a lot of experience from this moron whenever I actually finish them off. So let's try this combo. There we go. That should be my last 4-hit art move. I don't believe we'll get another one soon, but that one you get through a special method. Now, see, I got 95 experience for knocking out those 3 slimes, whereas before I would get like 32. I think I got some extra money from that too. So yeah, like I said, I can actually get a survival knife, so an actual weapon in the dungeon that's coming up. So as you can see, like after you get to a certain point, you do still find like the mist running around, so you're gonna have mist in the background during the fights. And this is Hunter's Spring. And he's pretty important to the plot. Lazam. That sounds like a magician name, I'm not gonna lie. What do you want, Mr. Magician Man? Actually, before I do that, I want to show you guys that this refreshing water serves as a insta heal, as I mentioned before. And now you found a healing leaf. There's a couple nifty items that you can get in here. So he serves King Drake, ruler of the Drake Kingdom. That is the kingdom that Rim Elm is a part of. So before the Mist Reach here, so like a few years ago then, heading to Rim Elm under King Drake's orders to warn them of the mist. But the mist caught up and he became a Saru monster. Drake is surrounded by the mist. So now our next goal is to reach Drake Castle. A grave decision. Interesting. I feel like there was another item in here that I could get, but I must be mistaken. As I said before, it has been a while since I've played this game. So I'm kind of trying to relearn everything. How far am I to level 3? So about 80 experience points. So if I get another slime and it split itself twice, then that means that I can get what I need. Yep, and there's a Gobu Gobu and a green slime. Alright, so I'm going to knock out the Gobu Gobu first because I don't want it stealing stuff and then running off. I can handle a dividing slime, no problem. Now, one thing you'll learn is that you can actually combo stuff together as far as your arts go. So, like, I've got 5 commands that I can use now. So, if you do Power Punch, notice how it ends in a down. If you use an art that begins with down and finish the combo, so we'll do Charging Scorch. So we'll do a right and an up. You can combo the arts together. Quit kicking me. So see, you do Power Punch and then Charging Scorch immediately after once you finish the combo. This is a very good way to rack up damage on an enemy. In fact, it's one of the best ways to rack up damage and is required for some of the more powerful arts in the game. Because you'll find that there are special hyper arts that use combos of 3 or 4 different arts together that culminate in a massive boosted attack. We won't be seeing these until much later in the game, though. In fact, we probably won't be seeing those until the Second Kingdom. Alright, so we can actually go here to the little dam. You'll notice that there's a chest down there. We cannot get that yet because we need the Watergate key. We don't have that quite yet. We have to free Drake Castle before we can actually get the water key. So now we enter our first major dungeon of the game, Drake Castle. The dungeon theme for Legend of Legaia is one of the best tracks in this game, and it provides the perfect feel for a lot of these dungeons. So like you see, that's a pretty detailed painting for a 1999 JRPG. And we have 2 skeletons. And these guys are rather annoying to deal with. So I'm going to be using combos prodigiously in order to deal with them. Unfortunately, I am still level 2, so... Okay. And as you can see, these guys are still kind of annoying. There we go. I wanted to knock him out before I healed. You are annoying. So the healing leaf does heal 200 hit points. So at this stage in the game, it's a very good healing item. It loses its usefulness as time goes on, but I should hopefully level up once I get rid of these guys. I hope. Because if I remember correctly, the skeletons actually give a decent amount of experience. There are stronger enemies in here that give really good experience. Yep, there we go. There is something I wanted to check real quick. Let's see. Okay, so it does not provide a insta-heal when you level up. As you can see, the people appear to have been turned into Seru beasts and have apparently locked themselves in the dungeons. The Sunrise Key. Now this is where I wanted to kind of wait because I can get a hold of a Gimard here. And the Gimard is going to be very useful if I can get a hold of it. So let's see. I want to do this. Oh. No, I want to use it on Gimard. So one thing that has been noted is that attacking the enemies, attacking Seru with a attack that ends in down is usually better at absorbing them. It doesn't always work, but it does increase your chances. So that's why I followed up with Power Punch at the end there. And you are starting to irritate the heck out of me. Okay, now we're knocking these guys out one shot with a combo. So with any luck, I should be able to get levels relatively quickly now. I might have to use some of the money that I make doing this in order to go get some more healing leaves. The magic leaves obviously recover your MP. The Door of Light is going to be a very useful item because it gets us out of dungeons. So we'll use one magic leaf, or not a magic leaf, I'm sorry, a healing leaf. So we'll use that Sunrise Key to open the door and go to the next level. Let's see. Yes, there was something up here. Oh, and there's a healing leaf to replace the one I just used. And more skeletons. I really do not like the fact that these guys are faster than me by so much. like, I suppose it makes sense. I mean, they're nothing but bones, so there's nothing really holding them down. And if you guys can hear me, like, tapping on that cross button to try and block their attacks, yeah. Whoop. There we go. Okay, you guys are starting to annoy me. Be gone. Yeah, the skeletons are easily the second most annoying monster in this dungeon. But I definitely want to get a Gimard absorbed before I leave this dungeon. So apparently these guys have like 100 hit points. And this is really where the only voice acting that you hear in the game is their little victory shouts. So that's the only time you'll like hear the characters like actually speak. When they're doing like the little victory poses and their art attacks. So let's see. Status. Alright, so I'm a little under 50 hit experience from a level up. Aha, there's the key. And a lot of the like useful treasure chests and stuff are just hidden behind these wooden grates that are just impossible to get a hold of. So in order to get these, I'm gonna have to get rid of the mist. In order to do that though, we need to find a Genesis tree. And I am so glad I spirited, because that would have hurt otherwise. You saw how it only did like 13 damage to me, I think it was. That would be because of the fact that, well, the spirit increases your defense, as I mentioned before. And why on earth are these guys completely running roughshod over me? Quit knocking me over, you jerk. Let's heal up again. Thankfully, I don't remember ever seeing those guys use their special abilities like twice in a row. So I didn't have to worry about getting hit with another tail fire. That being said, I do probably need to worry about it now. Yeah, so I'm going to want to power punch this thing. Alright. One more power punch, and hopefully that will absorb it. No. You will know when a Saru is absorbed, because it's very blatantly obvious. The Saru basically gets back up and disappears in a shower of sparkles. That's how you know when you've absorbed it. So we're slowly making our way up this dungeon. The dungeons, like starting out, are not that bad, thankfully. Okay, so I've got 2 Gimards here. Good. That means I've got 2 chances to absorb one. Because if I can absorb one, I'm going to be leveling the crap out of it. Because yes, you actually can level up your magical spells once you get a hold of them. There we go. Come on. There we go. Meta acquired the power of Fire Gimard. And with that, now we can use Meta. And now we have access to magic. Unfortunately, there is no way to like skip the animation, for these. So every time I use magic, you actually have to watch it. And some of these like, magic animations can be rather long. But Gemard, the burning attack spell is pretty much like your go-to screw you damage attack for most cases. And there's the survival knife. That's what I was looking for. So now all I need is basically the headgear, which if I really want it, yes, we do acquire Tornado Flame in this dungeon. That I believe is going to be the next floor up. I'm going to check that pot real quick after this fight because I feel like there's something in there. Drake Ghost. This guy, I hate this guy. Drake Ghost is easily the most annoying enemy in the Drake Castle to deal with because it is fairly fast and hits like a truck, and it has a special ability that and see, Gemard's magic level increased. You can increase your magic levels to level 9 with a few notable exceptions, but we'll get into that later. But I do believe there was something in this pot, I thought. No, there is nothing in the pot. Now that bookshelf, I believe, holds a book that actually like teaches you arts if you do not have them. So like if you've forgotten what a certain art is, there are books scattered throughout the game that actually teach you. And I am out of MP, so this is going to be fun. That is the move that I absolutely hate. That is also why this Drake Ghost is gotta go. I don't care if the skeleton is faster, the Drake Ghost is the bigger threat. Because that Wind Hash, if you're not spirited, can take a huge chunk of your health out. So that thing has always got to be the first thing you concentrate on when you're dealing with these enemies. So unfortunately, these skeletons are just as annoying. And he's still somewhat faster than me. So I'm guessing that that last time when I got faster than him was a fluke. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of just ignore what I was going for before. Because now that I'm up here, I want to go in here first. And then go down here. I need to get in here, I believe it is. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. The door to this room is quite strong. If you shut the door tightly, you'll be able to rest peacefully. So this is where I can rest. So now I can get my MP and health back without using a healing leaf. I apologize for interrupting your dream. The Seru, horrible creatures. But the Seru themselves are not at fault. The mist is responsible. I can assimilate with the Seru that the mist has made mad. That special powers of the Seru will combine with my own, making me a powerful weapon. It is not always possible to absorb the abilities of a Seru by fighting it. Nevertheless, let's try to fight as many Seru as we can and hope to absorb its powers. So yes, like MP is limited, but this room makes it very easy to actually like grind in this dungeon. And there we have Firebook 1. This is the other major way that you can get a hold of arts. You get special arts from these hyper arts. These are elemental art moves that are specific to each character. Firebook 1 gives you the Tornado Flame attack. And this early in the game, the Tornado Flame is a godsend. It is probably one of these three, it's one of the strongest 3-move art attacks in the game. So here we have a letter in the treasure chest. So this is King Drake, and inside both the container that you see and the writer of this letter. Anyone who makes it through the mist must have powers greater than the mist. No doubt you have seen the Saru monsters in the dungeons. These monsters are in fact my dear retainers and the people of my kingdom. We even prayed to the Genesis tree at Mount Rikuroa to the north. There's our next destination. They decided to lock themselves in the dungeon and wear Saru. They basically locked themselves away while willingly wearing Saru on them to turn themselves into mindless beasts. Because one thing they noticed, like you find it in little bits and pieces found throughout this dungeon that I haven't actively been looking for, but apparently when you become a Saru monster, the human that's like underneath the vestige does not age at all. So essentially the Saru could potentially turn someone immortal, but unfortunately they don't have any control of themselves in the process. And you're going to be seeing me spam Gimard a lot just because I want to level it up pretty quickly. Gimard thankfully levels up pretty quick for Vaughn because it is a Fire Saru and shares an element with Meta. So leveling it up will take a bit quicker than doing the same with my other party members, which I'll get later. But in the next fight that I get in, I will go ahead and like show off the Tornado Flame. There was some stuff up here somewhere, I believe, that I could get a hold of, I thought. Now, I do want to get rid of that annoying Drake ghost. Yes, goodbye. And Gimard's magic level increase. Alright, so you see here we have Tornado Flame. This one is unique in that it doesn't do the initial commands. You'll notice that the arrows were all yellow. It is an automatic art, so the moment you put these commands in, whatever is being aimed at gets hit very badly. As you can see, like, I did over 100 damage, which was enough to knock that thing out in one shot. These hyper arts are ridiculously strong, and each character gets 3 of them over the course of the game. The first 3 you find in basically like in the overworld or in dungeons. The other 2 for each character are found from specific bosses. I won't spoil like which bosses give which specific books, but I will let you know that there are bosses that give books to give up hyper arts for the characters. And let's see what happens when we hit a Gemard with a hyper art of fire. It dies. Very easily. And Vaughn's level increased again. Let's see. So I have Gemard at level 3 now. And Vaughn himself is at level 5. That's actually a respectable level. So let's see, my magic, burning attack. I want to try to get Gemard up one more level before I go on. Yeah, it was quick. Like I said, like when a character uses Seru that are aligned with their Raw Seru's element, they level up a little bit quicker than they would for other characters. So like, we are going to be getting a character that uses the Wind type. When that character gets Wind Seru, they will level up faster for that character than a Wind Seru would for Vaughn. It's a bit of an interesting system. It kind of works, because I mean... Oh, that's right. Once you reach level 3, your Seru magic basically starts having a status effect on normal monsters. These statuses don't really affect bosses, unfortunately, which is a real pain in the tookie. Because I would love for the status effects to hit the bosses, because that would be very helpful. Oh wow, that was quick. It's already level 4. Okay, so with that said, we'll go ahead and heal up, we'll save, and then we'll start heading north. Because now that we have the information from King Drake, what we're going to do is we're going to have to go to the Genesis tree at Mount Rikuroa. Why am I so good? It's been a few years since I played this game, but I have played this game a lot. When I say that this game was a staple of my childhood, I was not lying. I have probably put more hours into this game than almost any other. So let's see if I can knock out this Drake Ghost with a Tornado Flame. Yes! And of course, he bopped me with a Tailfire. How dare you fart flames at me? Take my flaming fist of justice. Right to that ugly beak of yours. There we go. So now we head up north. Because our next goal is the Genesis tree of Mount Rikuroa. Before we get up there with Vaughn, though, you'll find that we actually have something else that needs to get done. And you'll find out about it here. Vaughn, I sense the presence of a Raseru like me. Let's hurry to the top of the mountain. Our friends must be there. That's right. We barely get out of the first dungeon and we're already being thrown into another dungeon and being introduced to the second member of our party. So now we get to follow the start of Noah's story. Whoop. I did not mean to hit that. Just name her No. Noah is a interesting character. She is the typical, like, naive, sheltered child. You'll notice that she does have these odd dreams of her parents. Her mother seems to be speaking to her through her dreams. Tara. Why is this character's name highlighted in green? I wonder. You can't sleep forever. So now we have a talking wolf that appears to have some sort of giant gem in the middle of its forehead. This is sus. But to Noah, it's perfectly normal. Snowdrift Cave. Now you'll notice that the music here is a little bit cheery. It kind of fits in with Noah's whole vibe. Because Noah tends to be the more plucky and optimistic character. And there are items that I can find hidden throughout this little dungeon. I have taught you much, but I wonder if it's sinking in. A test. Oh no, pop quiz. Why am I getting pop quizzed? What is the combination that results in chaos? I'm gonna say Seru and human. And she's so happy. So now we can move on. So let's see. There are, like I said, there are items that I can find in here that are useful. I just don't see them yet. Oh, there's one. See that little mushroom in the back behind Tara? That is a similar item that's equivalent to a healing leaf. What uses its powers from another world to push back the mist? The Genesis tree, of course. Uh-oh. Luna alert! Luna alert! My cat is, like, walking behind my monitors right now. We now have a healing shroom. Kitty, what are you doing? Last question. Which Genesis tree is closest to us? That would be Mount Rikuroa, located south of this cave. The day will come when you and I will go to Mount Rikuroa together. After using the mind, it's time to use the body. Time for training. So now we get to use Noah in actual combat. So there are a couple of healing shrooms around here. So we're going to be basically getting some combat practice in with Noah. Touch the red Pura or black Pura sticking out of the holes to start fighting. If you're not confident, fight the red. If you are confident, fight the black. So I'm going to start off with fighting some of the red ones because they are quite clearly weaker and not as annoying to deal with. And I believe those are the only shrooms that I'm going to get. And it sounds like an angry goose. But on the bright side, I can actually make use of this to get some of Noah's arts. And you'll notice that Noah has a much higher spirit gauge because her agility is much higher than the other characters. Now I know for a fact this is one of hers. Let's see. And I think up, down, down is another. So we do have a Lizard Tail is her equivalent to somersault, and then you have the acrobatic blitz. Ow! How dare you stab me? Yeah, so she automatically starts off with 4. So we'll learn the Sonic Javelin, and then just pop it right in the face for good measure. Ow! Jerk. There we go. Bash it right in the head. Now you'll notice that you don't get any gold from these monsters, because Noah has no need of gold at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of those healing shrooms. But you can also talk to Terra to get some heals as well. So let's spirit up. Now, let's see. Actually, I do remember this one. This is one of her best attacks, the Rushing Gale. You will probably be seeing me use that a lot. That is a very powerful move. It won't take long, though, thankfully, for me to get access to her most powerful non-hyper art. It's a move called Tempest Break, and if I can get a hold of that before we fight the first major boss, I will be very happy, because that is going to make fighting that boss ridiculously easy. Yeah, Noah is going to be getting high-level arts much quicker than the other 2 characters. Okay. I could combo, but I do kind of want to get some more special arts. Yeah, unfortunately, Noah doesn't have the offensive capabilities of Vaughn or the other party member, who we will be introduced to later. Oh my goodness. These Puras are really good at, like, blocking. Oh, for Pete's sake! Oh, dear Lord. I need shrooms. These guys are annoying. I feel like there's one more. I feel like there's one more art that I could learn. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look that up real quick. This one. This should be it. Will you stop blocking, you son of a gun? I remember that move. This puts a whole new meaning on the term kill-emless kindness. She murdered that thing by smooching it to death. Let's see. So one more fight and I'll actually be able to... Alright, so I don't get like a permanent... I don't get like permanent heals from these things. But I can at least like get some heals until I'm done fighting these guys. That should, though, be the last sub-art that Noah can learn for now. There we go. Yeah, so Noah's not going to have as much offense as the other characters, so unfortunately... Like, her attack power, until she gets some real good equipment, is going to be substandard. But she is going to get a lot of moves. So she makes up for it with a blitzing offense. So once we get some actual equipment on her, like, she's going to start doing some real heavy damage. And some of these guys have actually revived, so that's good for me. Because that means I can get more experience out of them. I want to see if I can actually get a 6. I think I can. I think I can actually already get 6. Yes, there we go. This is the move I was talking about before. Tempest Break. One-shotted it, even with a block in substandard attack. The Tempest Break is hands down one of the most useful arts in the entire game. Like, this is going to be pretty much like my go-to attack for a lot of stuff with Noah. Because that thing hits like a truck compared to the rest of her attacks. But we can also do stuff like this. While not as destructive as Tempest Break, still a very useful attack combo. And it flops back over. I want to go ahead and try to knock all these guys out so that I can get the max amount of experience. Because the more experience I have, the less I have to grind later. And it did not die. There we go. Takes care of him. I do like Noah's design though. Like the red hair combined with the green eyes. It's a nice look. I think all 3 of the main characters were designed very well and kind of give an idea to like their personalities. Like Vaughn's design kind of shows him as being kind of like the leader and the kind of a silent stoic type hero, kind of reminiscent of like Link from Legend of Zelda. Whereas Noah clearly gives off a more like flighty and easygoing vibe with her design. And then we will be introduced to the 3rd member of the party at some point. But that probably won't be until next Sunday. So I think they'll probably force us to get out of here at this point. Yep, there we go. Time to return home and get stuff to eat. So now we need to find our way back. No more that I can teach you by spoken word. Time for tell you everything. Well, as soon as you want to tell me something important, an earthquake happens. Now what? I love how she was just like rolling around all over the place. That was funny. We've lived in this cave for some time, but that's the biggest earthquake yet. Uh-oh. The wind is blowing. They're out there, in the mist! The dialogue in this game, like from the translated version, is pretty funny in some places. Like, most of it makes sense, but that was one of the lines that I always thought was pretty funny. They're out there, in the mist! And here we're introduced to our first lightning Saru. Theater. This one's a flying enemy, kind of like the evil fly that we ran into before. Unfortunately, Thunder Saru have a good effect on wind-aligned characters like Noah. So I'm going to Tempest Break this son of a gun. Thanks, Cotton Man Pets. I hope you have a great night. We actually will be doing another stream of this on Sunday, so if you have time, feel free to come check it out on Sunday when we continue. Let's see. We'll go down here. Whoop, wrong way. But yeah, I do hope that you have a very good evening, Captain. Thank you for the raid, and I hope you and the rest of the raiders that are, if any of you are still here, enjoy this whole playthrough as I go through it. So let's see what we want to do. Alright, so the mushroom is kind of an odd enemy because it's different from... It's basically the opposite of the theater and the evil fly. It is a short enemy. High attacks are not going to hit it. So you have to use either left, right, or low attacks in order to deal any significant damage to it. And there's now a giant hole in my house. So now they can go outside and head for the Genesis tree. Even though you don't actually see anyone else like in the party, you actually do have a second party member now. You actually have Terra as a temporary party member that backs Noah up, which, considering her level of strength compared to Vaughn's, definitely needed. So now we have blue Puras. So yeah, like, see, Terra has no level, no health, no magic, no nothing. Essentially, Terra is, at best, essentially like a free, like, immortal party member. Like, it is impossible to lose with Terra in the party. Because even if Noah gets damaged significantly, like, it basic... Like, you see there? The last two before activating Tempest Break were high attacks, so they didn't hit the mushroom. But yes, with Terra in the party, like, Noah will automatically be healed as soon as her health reaches a critical point. And Terra is essentially a full heal whenever she heals Noah. This is the first time we've been ambushed. So sometimes you actually can be ambushed by enemy monsters, which will basically give them a free turn against you. It's not very nice. So see, heal. Instant full heal. Now see, I don't mind if they kick Terra all day, because Terra's just gonna take it like a champ. Quit smacking me, you. Now it would be nice if Terra could actually, like, yep, there we go. And Terra actually has her own little victory animation. Don't get careless. Yeah, she pretty much like always says that whenever... Did I go the wrong way? Yes, I did. I went the wrong way. That's the annoying thing, is that sometimes in these dungeons, it's easy to get turned around. So right now I kind of want to just do a quick spirit so that I can try to knock that blue pure out as quick as possible. I'm still learning the timing of each of these idiots. Yep, that takes care of him. Dang. Thought I could block at least a couple of them, but my timing was a bit off. I like this victory animation just because she looks so happy during it. I can't remember. Yes, I was right. I had a feeling that I could get more healing shrooms. So we've got more mushrooms and theater. Now see, I don't care if they attack Terra because she doesn't really like get damaged by any of this. So thankfully it's not something that I have to worry about. Like see, Tempest Break is basically doing 200 damage, where most of the enemies right now are around like 75 to 115 health each. Like, see, 75 was enough to knock out that mushroom. Yes, we got us a level up. Now, before we reach the first boss, I do want to try to get Noah to at least level, like, 5 or 6. Because the boss for this first Genesis tree, which is basically like how you tell your major bosses, for the most part. Alright, so 570 more to get another level up. So yeah, like the Genesis trees are a good measurement of like where your major bosses are. There are other major bosses that are kind of interspersed between the Genesis trees, but we'll go into those in more detail later. Yeah, see, so now we're running into the same monsters that Vaughn is. That thing can use phosphor on Terra all at once. It's not going to do anything to her. And of course, Terra's just going to sit there. For the most part, Terra's usually going to just sit around and let you handle most of the heavy lifting. And usually will only step in if you're having like a lot of trouble. Or if you get damaged enough that you need to be healed. And that takes care of that. 69 experience and 20 gold. So now we can actually get gold for our enemies. I don't remember if we got them from the other Saru once the mist came in. But I do kind of want to go off to the side here a little bit. Because I believe there is something that I can find here. Yep. There's a treasure chest there. Beyond that valley is where the mist was born. From there it flows out into this world. Now see, this isn't the origin point of the mist, but it is the origin point of the mist in the Drake Kingdom. Though it's too thick to see clearly, there's a mist generator beyond the valley. And now Terra seems to be feeling under the weather. And the mist is too thick. So we actually need something to thin out the mist that's surrounding this mist generator. And now we have the nail glove, which is Noah's initial weapon. So that's going to give us a little bit more striking power. But now we can actually start making our way towards Mount Rikuroa. A Gobu Gobu and 2 slimes. So we're going to want to spirit up a little bit. And I'm probably going to want to take out that Gobu Gobu. Actually, no. There's 2 slimes here, so I probably want to knock one of those out. Like, I can afford to get away with getting an item stolen. Because all I have are the healing shrooms. Yep, see? So now I'm going to try to knock out that Gobu Gobu. And there we go. Got my healing shroom back. And with any luck, I can get rid of this slime without too much difficulty. Alright, so I'm probably going to want to just do some random attacks to kind of conserve my AP. So we'll just do some random attacks. Still got the job done, but we didn't waste any AP in the process. Let's see. Okay, so I can save while I'm here. I'm going to try to get to the next actual save point before we come to a stopping place. So now we have our second major dungeon, which is going to have 2 parts to it. So now we have Pump Batted. We're introduced to the first of the Light Seru, Vera. With one exception, the Light Seru are all primarily healing spells. So once we get Vaughn onto the mountain, we are going to want this, like, immediately. Alright, and the little pumpkin enemy kind of has... It's shaped basically to makes it obvious what the bugger is formed as. He's basically a high enemy. He's like the equivalent of a flying enemy, like the Vera, because he's got those two legs, and then his main body is like hoisted up above the ground. So low attacks are actually not going to hit that thing. On the bright side, though, these guys should give pretty good experience. Oh my god, I forgot how much health these guys had. Leave, stupid pump bat. And Bloodsucker. I believe that move actually, like, I don't know. Yeah, I believe it actually, like, heals the Seru when it's used. So let's see. Let's try that combo. See if we can just do like a... and it's still not enough. Even with the nail glove. There we go, got it. $173 experience, not bad. A healing leaf. Oh, well shoot, that was quicker than I thought. This actually does seem like a good place to kind of stop though, because we've been going at this for a while now. But that means that on Sunday we're gonna be able to make our way through this mountain and make our way to the new Genesis tree, and in turn the next boss. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut the game off so we can kind of get things finished up. I had a lot of fun today. Like, it's a real nostalgia hit to be able to like play through this game again finally, and I'm going to enjoy going through it with the rest of you. Like, we've already made some pretty good progress even with the short amount of time we had, but I do have some stuff that I need to do, and I have to get ready for work tomorrow. But this is going to be a fun one. Like, even with me having to do some off-stream grinding at some points, like, I'm going to enjoy doing this a lot. And I'm looking forward to sharing this game with you. It's a classic of mine, and it is so much fun to play, and I hope all of you enjoy watching as I share it with you. So, right now it's looking like because of the change in the schedule, I am going to try to do my 200 follower special on Wednesday night, and we'll do the Try Not to Laugh challenge that evening, and then again we'll go back into Legend of Legaia on this coming Sunday. So be looking forward to that. I'm going to check and see who is currently live, see if there's anyone that we can send a raid to real quick. Looks like one of my co-patriots with Joysticks Gaming is actually on Eleutheria. So let's see if we can go send her a little bit of support. She's playing some Elden Ring tonight, it looks like. I've never been a big fan of the Elden Ring series, but it's very popular. Obviously, like, so many people love to play it. It's just never been like my kind of game just because of like the content. But it's pretty interesting from what I've seen. And I've seen some playthroughs and clips of other people who have played it, and their reactions to certain enemies and certain events were like so hilarious that I just could not stop laughing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and stop in on Eleutheria and kind of give her some support, and I'll see the rest of you on Wednesday night for the Try Not to Laugh challenge. But until then, this is Alden Foodry, signing off. Have a nice evening.